Pencil, how's my spin? I mean, it's alright. Thank you to our final patrons, Strawbones, Red Wolf 4765, and Midnight Gemlord. Now, before we hop into this discussion on Ominous Nebula, not really being that ominous, please leave your own thoughts on whether or not Ominous Nebula is that ominous in the comments down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure you hit that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do a Patreon down below. You can support for as low as $1 a month. It gives exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, you can now become a member to the channel to get the same perks and even more. Now, let's hop into the discussion. What's up, guys? Look at the pencil here, and hi. It's ZELDRIS fan 549 here. Please, other ZELDRIS fans, don't take my ZELDRIS fan club card away. I still love the guy. I still think he's fantastic. I think he's amazing, and I think he's great. And he's one of my favorite characters in all of 7 Deadly Sins. He's easily top 10 character-wise. On a good day, he's top 5. Normally probably in the top 8 range. I don't know. I'm kind of throwing those numbers around. But he's definitely top 10. That's out of the question. But is he really top 5? That's another story for another time. But in terms of just his Demon King ability, I think Ominous Nebula is kind of lacking, right? And hear me out. The main reason I think Ominous Nebula is kind of lacking as like a big top tier final end game ability for ZELDRIS is because of the competition he's got. Like, the Demon King reverses all magic, inverses it. The ruler is snapped. It's so crazy that a sub-variant of it is one of, if not literally top 5 magic in the verse. Because it literally just hard negates the rest of the verse. Like, seriously, having the ability to inverse and or negate all magic that is used against you in a verse that primarily rotates around magic for what some of its most powerful attacks and abilities are is crazy. It makes sense to me. That is a Demon King level ability. That is something that a being of the highest caliber would wield. Makes sense. Meliodas. I've already made a video talking about my problems with the magic and why I think it's kind of just a plot device that Nakaba pulled out of his butt cheeks at the last moment because he had nothing else and no other way to end the story until he thought of chaos and stuff. But regardless, that also is a magic that lives up to the hype of a Demon King tier magic. The next level kind of thing. Because what does it do? Not only does it give Meliodas access to a new form that greatly transcends his previous levels of power, which is a good thing to do, it's nice to have. But on top of that, it has an ability that allows you to just erase things. And like truly erase them. Like straight up, it'll hit you if you're in a different dimension and completely annihilate you. I can still not get over that. Meliodas' true magic, when he wasn't even using it properly, when he was throwing the bad boy away, not only got rid of the commandments, but got rid of the Demon King's main body that was existing in purgatory. It just gone. That's a Demon King tier magic. That's some next level stuff. No one else can replicate that. Zel? Ominous Nebula? So you're spinning your darkness really, really fast. Like, no offense, though, but I feel like any skilled demon could do that. Like, legitimately, I think Cusack could pull it off. Chandler, too. It probably wouldn't be as strong as Zel's. I mean, shoot, look at Mel ripping off condensed power, or condense, or whatever the disaster magic of Kings was. Mel saw that, said that's neat, did it himself, and now it's one of his main moves. Trillion Dart. No offense to you, Zel, but I think a base post-training Mel, or post-purg Mel, could probably whip out a stronger Ominous Nebula than you on the spot. That kind of sucks, bro. Like, as your next level, as your Super Saiyan next level insane in the membrane kind of magic, that's kind of booty. Like being real, any ability, at least in my mind, that like can be not easily replicated. Like, you know, it probably takes a level of skill and finesse, but like any ability that can be replicated by others, even if they're specifically of your own species. Like, I don't think a human could really copy Ominous Nebula. I don't think a fairy could really copy it unless they use like vines, but even that's weird. I don't think so. Then again, King could work some magic with that spirit. But regardless, I don't think Then again, who knows? I'm going to say I don't think a giant could do it, but if they start spinning that earth around really, really fast, they could actually sort of create a gravitational pull. But regardless, even that, okay, now I'm kind of talking myself out of that. So, like, if I can think of ways for other people to copy your top level technique, maybe your technique isn't so top level. Maybe it just shouldn't be that. Maybe that should just be like a skill thing. Like Trillion Dark is purely a skill thing. It is Meliodas condensing darkness down into dark orbs and pew 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 pew. That works. That's all it is. And it's arguably more effective than Ominous Nebula. Because he can actually kind of Ominous Nebula it already by how he spins it around himself. But Zell, I don't know. That's the thing. That's the main issue I have. It's just like it doesn't compare to the two other examples that we have. And even if we take an example that isn't a demon, we just take another high level, next level magic that is unique to a high level creature. The Supreme Deity. You don't think the Supreme Deity is just immune to physical attacks? Like, that's just her magic. Like, the Demon King is pretty much not actually immune. You can hurt him through inversion with healing stuff like that and like buffing spells. But in terms of magical stuff, he's usually immune due to his ability, if not making him stronger. You know what the Supreme Deity has? Just absolute invulnerability to the other half of what makes the verse extremely dangerous. It's physicals. She just ignores those. Characters without strong magic just get negged, just entirely by existing in the Supreme Deity's presence. The Supreme Deity is a pretty broken character on her own. She'll get her own video, but that's what I'm just saying. Like, in terms of super powerful, top tier, endgame magics, like, these are the things that you expect from final boss level abilities and beings of power. I don't know, it's just not hitting the same. Chaos too. Chaos is crazy. Obviously, I feel like I don't have to convince you. Like, I don't have to convince you that Chaos King Arthur and his abilities are also crazy and also match an endgame, high-level, top-tier ability. Like, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, you put True Magic Mel, the Ruler, the Supreme Deity's immunity, Chaos itself, and then you look at Ominous Nebula. Does Ominous Nebula really seem, like, that good? Does it even seem good compared to, like, the Graces? I'd say the Graces give you better, overall, more useful abilities than Ominous Nebula, except for maybe like Flash. Flash doesn't necessarily do too much for you. It makes you faster. That's neat. And it gives you stronger light attacks. But Flash is like the only one I say may fall beneath Ominous Nebula. And that's like kind of stretching it. So, like, what's the deal? Like, obviously, I can't just sit here and be like, oh, well, ZELDRIS is kind of booty. Like, his magical ability kind of sucks. Oh, well, whatever. I guess we're just going to have to live with that. I would say, this may not be nice. People may not like me for this. But I think ZELDRIS' real magic should have been the magical immunity. Like, it can still be a weaker variation of his father's. Like, it can be that he only gets to negate all magic that comes in contact with him and not he inverses it. But I think that should have been his actual ability. Because that still fits. That still matches, like, the end game tier level of power that ZELDRIS was really supposed to represent. Like, he was really the prelude to your Demon Kings, your Supreme Deities, your Chaoses. Because you gotta think about that. He was the final bridge. It was really him and Mael that were, like, the goddess and demon representative of, oh yeah, stuff's getting real now at the end of the series. So I think if his magic was just, his magic was just immunity to magic, I think it would make it work. I think it would also help him, because admittedly, until we get some confirmation that ZELDRIS is, like, jacked out the wazoo after training with Meliodas in Purgatory for 1,000 years. peep the Meliodas and ZELDRIS infinite potential video. You know what I'm talking about. But regardless, unless we get some confirmation about that, ZELDRIS, post Cursed by Light, not even post Cursed by Light, post the Demon King's death, is kind of fodder. And not fodder in, like, the legitimate sense. He's still very, very strong. But, like, not only does he lose his commandment, but he also lost the Demon King amp, and he also lost the magical immunity. All that leaves bro with is basic demon abilities and Ominous Nebula. You don't ever see me bring, well, I see this thing. This happens when you work on scripts in the sideline. I have multiple things landed out. But, like, out of the 5 scripts I'm already working on with ZELDRIS as a hypothetical combatant for other people, I don't take end of series ZELDRIS. I don't. Because he just lacks a really crucial ability that makes him super duper broken. And I don't know. Here's the thing. I kind of get why Nakama didn't want to give him that ability, but at the same time, I don't. Like, Ominous Nebula could have just been a thing, a skill he developed, and the Demon King's magic could have just been his Demon King magic, like his next level thing. It would still fit into ZELDRIS' narrative. It would still arguably be a weaker ability than both the Ruler and Meliodas' true magic form, because it's not another form. It's just a stronger variation of himself that's immune to magic. I think it would have worked, personally. I think it would have matched the endgame tier. It would have paralleled a lot better with his family in comparison to just having swirly darkness. Yay! Like, I think it would have worked out a lot more. You don't have to change anything. Ironically enough, this is one of the few cases where, there's one thing you'd have to change. There's actually one thing you'd have to change. It's when the Demon King took away the magic and attacked Zelda with another magic attack, but just have the Demon King knock him out physically. That's all you need to do. Or say he just, like, got tired and passed out. Or he ran low on energy. Or something like that. That's the only thing you have to change in the narrative. Because you gotta think about it. ZELDRIS uses Ominous Nebula in the main narrative. He gets knocked out by Escanor. Blitzed up by Ludishell. Sure, you could argue Ludishell's attack may not have been able to work, but we could just keep it that his ability needs to be consciously used and consciously activated. So when he immediately wakes up, it's not always on. So just keep it as that. And the rest of the narrative gets to stay the same, and Zelda still keeps a really nice power. A power that fits within the tier of these endgame Demon King next level terms of abilities, but doesn't just leave ZELDRIS with nothing other than a swirly dark man at the end of the day. However, that's what I think. If you guys think Ominous Nebula is like this super... And like the thing is, ironically enough, I made Ominous Nebula is busted. And I still do think that. Don't get me wrong. I think Ominous Nebula is still busted. But when I'm thinking about it in regards to its contemporaries, what it has to compete with, what its rivals are in terms of what kind of magic it is, it's just not competing. It's not competing at all. But that's what I think. Please know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notification bells so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do a Patreon down below. You can support Percival as $1 month, including exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, you can now become a member to the channel to get the same perks and more. Now, thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.